Monsters of Chernobyl. Unearthed horrors after the explosion. April 26, 1986. A day that altered the course of nuclear history forever. The catastrophic explosion at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant released an estimated 5.2 million curies of radioactive material into the atmosphere, contaminating over 200,000 square kilometers of Europe. While the immediate human and environmental impacts have been extensively documented, there exists a shadowy realm of untold stories and uncharted horrors born from the radioactive fallout. Tonight, we venture beyond the boundaries of conventional science and step into the unknown. Join us as we uncover the terrifying monsters said to inhabit the ghostly remnants of Chernobyl, a fusion of fact, legend, and the unsettling possibilities that lie at the intersection of radiation and life. Chapter 1. The Silent City of Pripyat. Pripyat, a once thriving city established in 1970 to serve the nearby Chernobyl plant, now stands as a chilling testament to the sudden fragility of human habitation. With a pre-disaster population of approximately 49,360, the city was evacuated in a mere 36 hours after the explosion, leaving a snapshot of Soviet life frozen in time. The absence of human presence for over 3 decades has allowed nature to reclaim its territory. Yet, there's an unsettling atmosphere that permeates Pripyat, a silence that seems almost sentient. Electromagnetic field, EMF, readings here often show spikes without apparent sources, and infrasound recordings capture frequencies below 20 Hz, which can induce feelings of anxiety and dread in humans. Some experts propose that these phenomena are the result of residual radiation interacting with the environment, but others suggest that something far more enigmatic is at play. Could the very fabric of reality be altered in spaces so heavily saturated with ionizing radiation? Chapter 2. Radiation and Mutation. To understand the monsters of Chernobyl, we must first comprehend radiation's impact on biological organisms. Ionizing radiation, such as alpha particles, beta particles, and gamma rays, has sufficient energy to displace electrons from atoms, leading to molecular ionization. This process can cause single and double-strand breaks in DNA, leading to mutations during cellular replication. Post-Chernobyl studies revealed a significant increase in genetic anomalies among local wildlife. For instance, research on bank voles showed mutation rates up to 20 times higher than normal. Birds in the region have displayed albinism and malformations, and some insects exhibit morphological changes not seen elsewhere. While many mutations are harmful or lethal, a small fraction can lead to novel traits. The accelerated mutation rates in the exclusion zone create a living laboratory for evolutionary processes on a timescale much shorter than typical natural selection. This provides a plausible scientific basis for the emergence of radically new life forms, or perhaps, monsters, that defy conventional biology. Chapter 3. The Black Stags. The legends of the Black Stags are among the most compelling accounts from the exclusion zone. Described as towering creatures exceeding 3 meters in height, they possess melanistic fur with non-reflective properties, an adaptation possibly due to hypermelanism triggered by radiation-induced genetic mutations. Their eyes, reported to emit light in the near-infrared spectrum, could be a result of tapetum lucidum modifications, enhancing nocturnal vision. Infrared cameras have captured fleeting images of large ungulates with anomalous heat signatures, supporting eyewitness testimonies. An analysis of trace elements in the area reveals high concentrations of radionuclides like strontium-90 and cesium-137 in the soil, which bioaccumulate in flora and subsequently fauna. Such environmental pressures could drive rapid evolutionary changes. Could these black stags represent an emergent megafauna species, evolved to dominate a niche unchallenged by humans? Chapter 4. The Shadow Wolves. Wolves in Chernobyl have thrived, with populations expanding significantly due to the absence of human interference. However, reports of shadow wolves suggest a divergent branch of Canis lupus adapted in extraordinary ways. Standing up to 1.8 meters in length, these wolves exhibit increased cranial capacity, indicating potential neurological mutations. Bioacoustic studies have recorded howls with fundamental frequencies below 150 Hz, producing infrasound capable of instilling fear and disorientation in prey and humans alike. Such vocal adaptations may be evolutionary advantages for hunting in densely wooded, low-visibility environments. Moreover, pack behaviors exhibit complex strategies resembling coordinated tactical maneuvers. Could radiation have induced not just physical mutations but cognitive enhancements? Neurobiologists speculate that alterations in synaptic plasticity genes could lead to accelerated learning and problem-solving abilities. If so, these shadow wolves may represent a new apex predator reshaping the ecological landscape. Chapter 5. The Swarm of Insects. Insects, due to their short generational cycles and high reproductive rates, are particularly susceptible to rapid mutations. Entomologists studying Chernobyl's exclusion zone have catalogued species exhibiting polyphenism, drastic morphological changes, in response to environmental stressors. One alarming phenomenon is the emergence of hyper-aggressive, eusocial insect swarms. For example, mutant Formicidae, ants, have shown unprecedented colony sizes and behaviors akin to superorganisms. Their mandibles contain traces of heavy metals, potentially increasing their lethality. These swarms display collective intelligence, forming complex structures and responding to threats with coordinated assaults. The integration of neural network models suggests a level of communication that could be electromagnetic in nature, altered by radiation's impact on their physiology. Such developments challenge our understanding of entomology and raise questions about the future trajectory of these species. Chapter 6. The Lurkers in the Mist. The mists of Chernobyl are not ordinary weather phenomena. Atmospheric physicists have noted that these fogs are often accompanied by spikes in gamma radiation and electromagnetic disturbances. The ionization of air molecules could lead to electrical conductivity anomalies, potentially affecting human perception and equipment. Within these mists, lurkers are reported, amorphous figures that defy clear observation. Hypotheses range from psychological effects, such as pareidolia and hallucinations induced by low-dose radiation exposure, to more exotic theories involving plasma-based life forms or transient radiation-induced entities. Quantum physicists have even speculated about localized alterations in spacetime fields, though such ideas remain on the fringe. What is clear is that these mists create environments where normal sensory input is unreliable, and the line between reality and illusion becomes dangerously blurred. Chapter 7. The Radioactive Ghouls. Accounts of radioactive ghouls delve into the macabre intersection of human tragedy and mutation. While the immediate effects of acute radiation syndrome are well documented, nausea, hair loss, skin burns, the long-term consequences for those who remained in high radiation areas are less understood. Some narratives suggest that a small number of individuals refused evacuation or were trapped in isolated zones. Prolonged exposure to radiation could, in theory, lead to cumulative genetic damage, resulting in aberrant physiological changes. Cases of radiation hormesis, a controversial concept where low-dose radiation may have beneficial effects, add complexity to these discussions. Yet, the transformation into so-called ghouls is likely more folklore than fact. Psychologists point to the human tendency to create monsters as a means of processing collective trauma. Nevertheless, the persistence of these stories keeps the possibility lingering in the collective consciousness, a haunting reminder of radiation's insidious nature. Chapter 8. The Plant Life That Hunts. Chernobyl's flora has adapted in unexpected ways. Biologists have observed plants such as the soybean and flax developing radioprotective proteins, allowing them to thrive amidst contaminated soil. However, more alarming are reports of plants exhibiting predatory behaviors atypical for their species. Time-lapse videography has captured instances of rapid thigmotropic responses, where plants like mutant versions of Vitis vinifera, common grapevine, display movement speeds exceeding standard growth rates by factors of 10 to the power of 3. These strangler vines appear to respond to thermal and acoustic stimuli, suggesting a form of sensory adaptation. At the cellular level, studies reveal alterations in the expression of genes related to auxin production and signal transduction pathways. The possibility of cross-kingdom gene transfer facilitated by horizontal gene transfer mechanisms in a high-radiation environment opens new avenues of scientific inquiry, though it also blurs the boundaries we've long held between plant and animal kingdoms. Chapter 9. The Lake of Dread. In the heart of the exclusion zone lies a body of water known unofficially as the Lake of Dread. Despite its nondescript appearance, the lake harbors secrets beneath its depths. Hydrological studies note that the lake's stratification layers contain varying radiation levels, with some depths exhibiting readings above 1 sievert per hour, a lethal dose for humans. Unmanned submersibles equipped with sonar have detected massive, moving objects exceeding 10 meters in length. These entities exhibit biological characteristics, such as movements consistent with locomotion, yet do not match any known aquatic species in Eastern Europe. Speculation abounds. Could they be gigantized specimens of Silurus glanus, the Wells catfish known to inhabit the region? Or perhaps something entirely new, with physiology adapted to hyper-radiated environments? Until more comprehensive studies are conducted, the Lake of Dread remains an aquatic enigma, its true nature submerged in uncertainty. Chapter 10. Government Secrets and Experiments. Beyond natural mutations, some posit that the exclusion zone has been a clandestine playground for experimental research. Declassified KGB files hint at projects like Program Chimera, aiming to create biologically enhanced organisms using radiation as a mutagenic tool. Facilities disguised as derelict buildings show signs of recent activity: fresh tire tracks, energy consumption anomalies, and secure communications intercepts using frequencies reserved for governmental use. Advanced materials found at these sites, such as carbon nanotube composites, suggest ongoing high-tech endeavors. Ethicists raise concerns about bioengineering without oversight, potentially violating conventions like the Biological Weapons Convention, BWC, of 1972. Are the monsters of Chernobyl merely unintended byproducts of environmental catastrophe, or the calculated outcomes of shadowy scientific pursuits? The lack of transparency fuels speculation and underscores the need for accountability in scientific research. Chapter 11. Surviving the Exclusion Zone. For professionals and researchers entering the exclusion zone, meticulous preparation is paramount. Here are expert recommendations for navigating this perilous landscape. Radiation monitoring. Utilize advanced dosimeters with real-time data logging and GPS mapping of radiation levels. Devices like the Thermo Scientific Rad-I series provide high sensitivity and durability. Protective gear. Wear certified hazmat suits rated for nuclear environments, such as those compliant with N1073-2 standards, along with full-face respirators equipped with P3 filters to block alpha and beta particles. Route planning. Pre-plan routes using up-to-date radiation maps from reliable sources like the Ukrainian State Agency. Avoid known hotspots and areas with structural instability. Anomaly response protocols. If encountering unexplained phenomena, document from a safe distance using remote sensors. Do not engage physically, prioritize safety and data integrity. Medical precautions. Carry chelating agents like Prussian blue or potassium iodide tablets as prophylactics against certain radionuclides, but only administer under medical guidance. Communication and backup. Maintain secure communication lines with a support team outside the zone. Satellite phones with encryption provide the best reliability in areas with compromised infrastructure. Adherence to these guidelines not only safeguards individual well-being but also ensures the integrity of data collected, contributing valuable insights into this unique environment. Remember, in the exclusion zone, the boundaries between the known and unknown are thin, and respect for both science and the inexplicable is essential. Conclusion. The Chernobyl disaster serves as a profound lesson on the consequences of humanity's technological overreach and the fragile balance of our ecosystem. The monsters, whether born from radiation, evolved through natural selection, or engineered in secret, embody the unintended aftermath of tampering with forces beyond full human comprehension. For experts and enthusiasts alike, Chernobyl is more than a site of historical significance. It's a living laboratory and a cautionary tale. It beckons us to probe deeper, to question the limitations of our knowledge, and to contemplate the ethical dimensions of scientific advancement. As we push the frontiers of exploration, be it in nuclear physics, biology, or environmental science, let us carry forward the lessons etched into the silent streets of Pripyat and the shadows of Reactor Number 4. The future hinges on our ability to balance curiosity with responsibility, innovation with prudence.